Level 1. The simplest striker archetype. The foundation of all other levels. A player whose mission is straightforward. Finish. Nothing more. Nothing less. These strikers live inside the penalty area. They don't roam, they don't create, they don't orchestrate play. They survive on rebounds, loose balls, short crosses, and chaotic moments. Their entire game revolves around anticipation, arriving 1 second earlier, reacting faster than the defender, and positioning themselves in the blind spot of the back line. Their strength is exactly that: positioning. Not creativity, not movement, not tactical impact. Just the innate instinct of being where the ball will fall. But with this simplicity comes the cost. Level 1 strikers are predictable, easy to track, easy to isolate, and extremely dependent on the team. If service dries up, they disappear from the match. If defenders stay compact, they lose space instantly. And the clearest real-world example of a level 1 striker? Chicharito Hernandez, a master of rebounds, tap-ins, quick reactions, and pure box instinct. He built a career not by creating chances, but by finishing the ones that others couldn't. A level 1 striker scores, yes, but only if the ball is delivered to their feet. They don't shape the system. They exist within it. Level 2. Strikers live not in the box, but in the empty grass behind defenders. They are the runners, the sprinters, the specialists of timing. This archetype thrives on depth. Every defensive line that dares to step forward becomes an invitation. Every loose ball in midfield becomes a launch signal. Every moment of hesitation becomes a runway. Level 2 strikers stretch the opposition vertically. They don't play between defenders. They shred the space behind them. Their strength is explosive movement. The diagonal run, the curved sprint, the perfectly timed burst that breaks the trap. But their weakness is structural. When opponents defend deep, the field shrinks, and their main weapon evaporates. Without space, a level 2 striker becomes predictable. With space, they become unstoppable. The definitive representative is Jamie Vardy, a striker who built an entire career outrunning defenders, punishing high lines, and turning simple long balls into goals. A level 2 striker doesn't wait for the ball. They chase the void behind the back line. Level 3, the target. Man level 3 is the return to physical roots, the striker who turns strength into structure, the forward who survives pressure, not with speed, but with presence. These strikers are the anchor of the attack. They receive with their back to goal, absorb hits, hold the ball, and turn long clearances into attacking platforms. Their purpose is control. Control when the team can't build from the back. Control when the game becomes chaotic. Control when the ball must stick to someone. Even for half a second, they are aerial threats, duel winners, and reference points for teammates. But isolation exposes their flaw. If support doesn't arrive, if defenders double-team them, if the midfield doesn't push up, the target man becomes trapped in a cage of pressure. Olivier Giroud embodies this archetype perfectly. Not the fastest, not the flashiest, but a master of hold-up play, soft touches, and physical timing. A level 3 striker is not just a finisher. They are a foundation. Level 4, the link-up striker. Level 4 strikers are connectors. They don't wait for the ball. They shape how it flows. This archetype drops between midfield and attack, turning rigid defensive lines into moving puzzles. By drifting deep, they pull defenders out of position. By combining with teammates, they accelerate attacks. By appearing where strikers shouldn't be, they create confusion where defenders least expect it. Level 4 strikers prefer passes over shots, spaces over duels, and intelligence over brute force. Their greatest strength is manipulation. They move defenders like chess pieces, but their weakness is presence inside the box. By staying away from goal to link play, they often leave the finishing zones empty. Roberto Firmino is the purest example, a forward whose genius is not measured in goals, but in how he made entire systems flow through him. A level 4 striker doesn't dominate a match alone. They elevate everyone around them. Level 5. The pressing striker. Level 5 strikers are engines of chaos. They defend first, score second, and suffocate opponents from the very beginning of every play. Their power comes from relentless energy. They sprint at defenders, cut passing lanes, force rush decisions, and create mistakes in zones where every turnover becomes a chance. This archetype is a tactical weapon, a system trigger, a spark that ignites the entire press. But pressing comes at a cost. Energy drains fast, coordination is mandatory, and pressing alone becomes useless. Without support, the pressing striker looks reckless. With support, they look unstoppable. The ideal representative is prime Luis Suarez, a striker who hunted defenders with ferocity, attacked loose passes like a wild animal, and turned pressure into goals with terrifying efficiency. A level 5 striker isn't waiting for opportunities. They manufacture them by force. Level 6. The complete striker. Level 6 is the moment where specialization disappears. The striker becomes universal, capable of everything, limited by nothing. Complete strikers shoot from distance, head crosses with power, drop deep to create, press with intensity, run behind defenders, and hold the ball under pressure. They combine every trait of levels 1 through 5. Not perfect in all areas, but exceptional in enough of them to threaten in every phase of play. Their presence gives coaches freedom, because they can adapt to almost any system. But even complete strikers have limits. They require intelligence, stamina, and coordination. Teams must balance around them. Harry Kane represents this category flawlessly. A lethal finisher, a creative passer, a strong target, a smart presser, and a master of timing. A level 6 striker doesn't just fit the system, they make the system better. Level 7. The system-defining striker. Level 7 is the apex, the rare, almost mythical striker who bends the entire tactical structure around themselves. This striker is so powerful, so unique, so overwhelmingly effective, that coaches reshape formations just to unleash them. They alter how opponents defend. They force entire leagues to change their strategies. They turn defensive lines into desperate survival mechanisms. Their presence creates gravity. Defenders collapse toward them. Space opens elsewhere, and the entire rhythm of the match revolves around their existence. But this power comes with fragility. Remove the level 7 striker, and the system collapses. They are the keystone. Take them out, and everything falls apart. The clearest modern example is Erling Haaland, a forward whose combination of speed, power, and ruthless finishing forces teams to redesign their defensive shape just to survive 90 minutes. A level 7 striker is not part of the structure. They are the structure.